definitely used to think like guys that was like super emotional was like soft as hell. Like I always hated like the over emotional guys,
Right.
but now I definitely feel like it's maturity in being able to show emotion and let someone in and be vulnerable. I'm definitely not an overly vulnerable person. So when I see that in guys, I definitely respect it versus looking down on it how I used to. I think it's important to be around people or deal with somebody that you can be vulnerable with. I think it's so much like respect in that, and that that's like a value. Like they value my opinion and they value our relationship. So they're opening up that door for me. And I can't see how in my past I shot down a lot of vulnerable moments with men, and especially as Black men in this society. I definitely think it's important for them to be able to come to you without that judgment or that, the way a lot of women, you might look down on them for being open. Like we say we want honesty, but then when guys tell you, oh, you hurt my feelings or you made me feel this way, you soft as hell, whatever, you get that backlash. So it took me to mature as a woman to see the value in that. So now I definitely value that.
Welcome back to another episode of Tay Rosen Podcast. This episode is 21 questions again. Now, this episode is special because this is a reshoot.
Yes, it is.
Because our fucking equipment failed us last time, man. Shout out to YOLO Live. We sending this shit back just to let y'all know. Yeah. That's a review too. It's a bad fucking review. Shout out to YOLO Live. But we're doing this episode today with Stu. Shout out to Stu, Stressed by Stu. Let them know where to find you at.
My Instagram is Studini or Sweats by Stu Store. And my website is sweatsbystuonline.com.
Okay, so I got Stu here because Stu has one of the biggest brands in Chicago, one of the biggest fashion brands in Chicago. And one thing I like about Stu, we talk a lot about like classes and courses and shit right now. Like that's real popular right now. It wasn't as popular when I took your course. We did the one-on-one course. And when I took the course, I remember like around that time, this was when people first started doing classes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people was like, why would you take a class? You can find all this shit on the internet. You can find all this shit online. Why would you pay somebody to teach you this shit? And literally in taking the class, I forgot how much the class was. It's probably like $100. Yeah. So in that, I think I was about to order some t-shirts that day. And the website that you gave me to order the t-shirts, it was like those same t-shirts I was going to order was like $2 cheaper. And I was ordering 100 of them.
Wow.
So the class not only paid for itself, but also saved me an extra $100 just in that one piece of information.
Exactly.
Out of the whole hour class. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just say that to say that, like, man, it's a lot of people out here with a lot of knowledge that could be, in your city, that could be unique to what you got going on. You will go out here and pay somebody thousands of dollars because they in LA and they got all these followers and shit like that. But somebody in your city might know exactly where you can go in your city to get shit done. Exactly. Versus you taking the advice of somebody that live in a whole nother state that don't even know what you got around you personally and shit like that. So,
and you building a relationship. Let's talk about relationships. I think that people so worried about the dollar and they don't understand that we knew who each other was. We already had a prior friendship, which a lot of people don't know. But that also made us a little bit closer. Now you got that open door to, you could text me, you can ask me. I'm not going to charge you every time you call me and text me and ask me for some advice. I'm going to just give it to you because we're building a relationship. So to me, I think that's important as well, because you never know what somebody can help you with. Just like I don't know what you can help me with later on down the line. Here it is. You got a podcast. What if I wanted a podcast? Exactly. Now I can pick up the phone, call you, talk to you about that.
Exactly. Absolutely. And I think just the way the class went, it was like very genuine. It was no gatekeeping and none of that. Like every question I asked got answered and everything like that. So that I was just like, man, I fuck with Stu, man. After that jump, I fuck with Stu, man. So
good.
I had to bring you on. And you was talking about starting a podcast, so I'm gonna put you out there. Fuck that.
I am. I was. I'm back and forth with it still. But I love podcasts. Yeah. I hate the bad rep they get in right now.
Yeah.
But I genuinely love podcasts. I watch podcasts almost every day. I just watched one before I came here.
For
Like
sure.
I watch all of them, especially if it's somebody I love. I just love genuine conversations. I just hate the same topics we keep talking about,
Yeah.
but I think if people overlook that, they will learn great information. You know, let's call them talk shows now. Like
For sure. Because they definitely shitting on podcasts right now. But it's
Yeah.
all good, man. We ain't tripping. Before we get into this episode of 21 Questions and get into the real bulk of the questions and everything like that, we got a sponsor, man. Today's episode is brought to you by Miracle Bakery. All right. And Miracle is M M-I. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm spelling that shit right. Hold on. It's Miracol.
Yeah,
Miracle
yeah.
Bakery. And they based in Chicago, man.
It look good.
She got a lot of different flavors. I got the strawberry cookie right here. It's like a strawberry shortcake. You know what I'm saying? Joint. Stu, which one you got?
It's a banana pudding cookie.
A banana pudding cookie. That's different.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
actually love banana pudding. So
Okay, and they got a promotion right now. So any dozen of cookies, they doing free delivery in Chicago area. It's $20 for a dozen of cookies, free delivery. She got a pineapple cookie over there.
Yep.
I got some lemon cookies over here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not finna try all these cookies right now, but I'm gonna try the strawberry joint. You could try which one you gonna try? Banana pudding.
I'm trying banana
And
pudding.
we're gonna tell y'all how these joints is, man. This joint soft as ever. Huh?
Okay.
Oh, fuck with it. It's all
How
my
you
favorite.
like yours? Let me try mine.
Yeah, it's on fire. I'm gonna get another piece of it.
This good.
All right.
It's good as hell, actually.
Shout out to Miracle Bakery.
It is.
Shout out to Ashley for dropping them off. You officially the first girl to get her cookies ate on Terry Rosen podcast. Shout out to you.
It's really soft
You might not be the last.
and moist.
God. No, that was fire.
You did that, girl. I like it. So,
All right. That's how you can get through this show so we can finish eating these cookies. All right, ladies first, man. Let's jump into it. 21 questions. What you got?
all right, let's roll. I'm back with some more questions. And I don't know. I think I did a little better this time with my questions. So.
It was fire last time. I wish that episode.
was.
Man, I'm sorry. I tried to do everything in my power to get that episode out.
Well, it's okay. We back. So my first question is, what do you enjoy the most about dating? And what do you hate the most about dating?
What I enjoy the most about dating is learning myself. You learn yourself a lot through other people.
I like that. Yeah, that's so true.
And I'm not saying you got to use that person as a measuring stick, but that's essentially what it is. You know, you get out here, you learn what you like, you learn what you don't like, you learn what your triggers are, you learn what bother you uniquely more than other people. I think a lot of times we get taught what should bother us and what shouldn't. People teach you that cheating is the worst thing that can happen in a relationship. You might personally be more hurt by somebody being neglectful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cheating is, you might be able to withstand that, but a lot of times we get taught by society what to accept, what not to accept. Getting out here dating and really truly learning yourself by interacting with other people is my favorite part of it. My least favorite part of dating right now is probably people saying that signing up for shit that they can't deal with. Right now, I'm just busy. I'm in a growth phase. FC Network is a business that I co-own, and we in a growth phase. And when you in a growth phase of a business, it's difficult.
Absolutely.
You might be broke one month and super up the next month. You might be have no time ever. So you know what I'm saying, time is gonna be limited. So in my dating life right now, I usually meet women who see what I'm doing and they have a admiration for it. Like, oh damn, you building this, woo woo. You know, they fuck with it. They admire it, they like it, but it's cool till it ain't cool.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
it starts to get in the way.
Yeah, so it's like when they constantly, oh, you want to go here, you want to go here, and I'm like, gee, I really don't got time. Well, I got to cancel because this came up and that came up. I might get an email that shut my whole fucking day down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Literally, I might be at work at my 9-to-5 job and get an email for FC Network at noon, and it'd be like, I got to go home and figure this shit out.
Right.
New York just said the tickets ain't selling. They're ready to cancel the show. Woo-woo, so we got to go figure out a new marketing strategy for a city that we don't even live in.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't make dinner tonight.
And then
you know
your
what I'm
brain
saying?
is all over the place.
Exactly. So that's my least favorite part for sure. What about you?
For me, I agree with you on learning yourself. That's something new for me. I've always been like the date a guy, then we together for 5 years kind of girl. Like, So I'm definitely learning more about myself, especially now being in my early 30s. I feel like a lot of things that I didn't know about myself, I'm learning about myself. Like you said, I'm also in a growth phase in my own personal life. So a lot of things that I used to like, I don't like anymore. And a lot of things that I, like you said, that used to be like the end of the world for me is like minimal right now, you know? So everything is constantly changing for me. So I definitely feel like I'm learning who I am as a person. What do I want? And what exactly do I want in a man? I feel like a lot of times us as women, we don't even know what we want in men. We know what we think we know what we want. But if you sit a woman down and you ask her literally straight up, what do you want in a man? They gonna give you a whole roundabout answer instead of like a direct answer. And I feel like that's what I'm learning. Like this is like my non-negotiables. You know, I mean, I didn't have those.
Yeah.
I was just kind of going with the flow. I love you, cool. You know, that ain't a big deal. But then I realized that's the problem. You know, I'm liking stuff that I really don't like because I like you. Instead of letting you know that I don't really like that. I don't really like when you do that. You know, and the least thing I hate right now is like the gender war. The whole Cheesecake Factory, you know, 5-star dinner. Everybody think that you gotta roll out the red carpet. You know, men look at you and they feel like everybody want they money and everybody is out to get something from them. So it's so hard to get that genuineness out of a guy because he's probably been, you know, hurt by so many different women using them, you know, talking bad about them, you know, using them for drinks and food. So in their mind, when they come to you, it might be coming from a genuine standpoint, but in their mind, they still have this guard up, this protection, because they feel like everybody is trying to use them for something. Because that is what's going on right now. A lot of times, a lot of women are dealing with men just to pay their bills or, you know, have a good time. And some men, they looking for a wife, they looking for a real woman, you know, and a lot of times they might not get that out here. So they look at you and they like, are you on the same thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get a lot of that.
Absolutely. And I want to go into that. I know we supposed to fly through these questions, but I want to go into non-negotiable piece. Before that, TJ, is her mic close enough? Like you can hear her clearly?
Okay.
For sure.
A little bit up like this.
And
Okay.
then point it
Okay.
a little bit like directly to, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
For sure. All right, the non-negotiable thing, right? That's big because you have to know yourself to know your non-negotiables.
Yes.
It steps to it, right? And like I try to do a matchmaking thing on TikTok where I say, hey, ladies, send me a list of your non-negotiables and your physical preference, and I'll matchmake you. I'll need all the guys to send me their non-negotiables, and I'll like matchmake, you know what I'm saying, in my Instagram DM.
Right.
Women were sending me 20 things for non-negotiables. Like, this is not a list. Your non-negotiable is not a list of your pet peeves.
No,
it's not a list of
no.
everything that you can't. And I think people don't understand what non-negotiables truly are. So my best way to explain it is that non-negotiables are the minimum things that you need to make a relationship work through anything. So, for example, my non-negotiables are 4 simple things: understanding, communication, spontaneousness, and passion, right? So passion being just affection,
Right.
intense sex. I don't want it to just be mediocre shit like that, meaningless things. Understanding is like when I present you an issue or we have an issue, you can take yourself out the center of it and really think about how this affects our relationship as a whole, how it affects me, and not just think about yourself. Communication is kind of straightforward. Well, it ain't straightforward. That's like the 90% of problems in relationships.
Yeah. I feel like communication be off a lot with a lot of us.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then spontaneousness. Now, somebody might ask me, like on another twin question, somebody asked me about selfishness. And he was like, you could deal with that? I'm like, yeah, I could deal with that. Like, that's because I know I'm not going to get a perfect person.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I need. The other shit I can deal, I'm willing to deal with. I'm willing to work through. If you notice, like, faithfulness not on there.
Yeah.
Right? So
Which
somebody
is
might ask,
big
like,
for a man, you know?
right, somebody might ask, like, could you deal with somebody cheating on you? If you cheat and we lose the affection we have, we lose the passion between us, then no, I can't deal with it.
Right.
If you cheat and you can't effectively communicate why that shit happened, I can't deal with it.
Right.
If you cheat and you can't understand yourself to understand like
Why you even
what you
did
was
it,
like,
yeah.
then I can't deal with it. But if we got them 4 things, we can get through that.
We can work past it.
That's why those 4 things are my non-negotiables. So it's like, for people listening, you gotta know yourself to get to a point to know your non-negotiables. to make a relationship work.
Yeah,
You know
and
what
I
I'm
want to
saying?
say too, if you don't know them, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people beat themselves up about dating and actually getting to know yourself. Like the realest quote I read recently is, your 20s are your first adult years.
Facts.
So your 30s will be, of course, following that. So everything you learned in your 20s, you might not have learned that. You might have changed the way you
Yeah.
think, period. And I think that people beat themselves up and feel like they got to be this one way all the time.
Yeah.
You might have been this one way for the last 15 years, and you might wake up one day and say, you know what? I don't like that no more.
Facts.
And that's
Facts.
okay. You can change your mind whenever you want to.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I definitely think we need to be studying ourselves
Yes.
a little bit more and being patient with ourselves as well. Let's see. I got one for you. During the course of this is a study that I really looked at. This is a stat that I saw recently. During the course of marriage, the average couple does not save as a couple what they spend on their wedding alone.
Okay. This is
You know
a
what
good
I'm saying?
question.
So do you feel like people are just spending way too much on weddings? Like, are we overdoing the wedding?
I think that your wedding should be about your budget. Be realistic. Me personally, I don't think anything is too much. So I'm a last person to ask that too. Nigga, bring out the horse and carriages. Let's go. Open bar. But I would probably come to my husband to be like, I got a dub on the wedding. Because that's the type of wedding I want. I got 20,000. How much you got? Let's put 20 and 20 together.
Okay, so you down to help pay for
I'm
that?
down. I'm down to put a little money up.
I feel like you can talk like that when you down. When a lot of chicks gonna
put
sit
me
back
a
and be
couple
like,
dollars up.
yeah, a lot of chicks gonna sit back and be like, bring out the horse and carriage, and that's on you, nigga. Like,
yeah. Like I want the bells and the whistles. So it's like I'm not gonna put everything on my husband if I know. What if your husband don't want a big wedding? And you forcing the big wedding on him and he say, okay, I agree to it. Let's do the big wedding. You gonna still make him pay for everything?
Yeah.
That's kind of unfair. Do the small wedding. If you want the big wedding, then you need to help with the big wedding.
For sure.
But that's just my personal opinion. You know, I feel like if we have that type of bond where we get married, what is it? Like I would spend a dub easily in Louis. Like, you know what I mean? What is it for me to give to my own wedding? You only got one wedding. Hopefully you only gonna have one wedding.
You might have a few. You know. Shit happens.
I was just about to say that. You might only have one big wedding. The other one might be at the little small chapel.
I think the interesting part about that is that, as you just said, a man might not want a big wedding, but it might be forced on him by a woman and he might just agree to it instead of like kind of standing on how he feel, right?
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to the wedding, when it comes to talking about prenups and all that, a lot of times people just kind of kick the can down the road and don't say how they really feel, don't stand on how they really feel just to please the other person. I think when you do that, you're like on the road to divorce.
Yes.
Because if you can't have a hard conversation with this person, why are you marrying this motherfucker?
I agree. I watch HGTV a lot. I have this fascination with demolition. And all the time, the men be like, I don't need all that. All the time. And the woman is like, no, I want 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and this and this and this. And I'm like, dang, like she won't even give in a little. It make me kind of feel bad for the men. Like, damn, like they ain't even budging. So I get it. I feel like it's definitely important to listen to your man. And you'll scare your man away like that, not listening to what he want and always going against the grain. That make niggas cheat and want to do other things because it's like you ain't listen to what I want any damn way.
For sure.
So yeah, I think that brings about a lot of problems for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Okay, so let me see what I got next. Do you feel like the Black community talks about the same thing? Dates, splitting rent, baby mama, and baby daddy drama.
Absolutely. I think it's oversaturated, but I mean, it's all what you subscribe to at the end of the day, because you could go watch CNN. You know what I'm saying? Like, you choose what you input. Like, no one's forcing anybody to follow or subscribe to anything. So, for example, I don't follow Shade Room.
Yeah,
It's a
me
couple
either.
blogs that I follow but got muted. I follow them just to support because I fuck with the people who run the blog. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you can control your input. You don't got to see none of it. We still talk about a lot of the same things. That's still a thing, right? But I do think personally that it's important.
I do too.
Like, I think that we can have, I say this all the time, all the stocks in the world, all the real estate in the world, and all of this. Who the fuck we gonna pass it down to if we can't be in a relationship, get married, and have kids together and stay in a relationship together? If we can't figure that part out, though, none of this other shit really matter.
Exactly.
Like, building family and community come first. So we are talking about the same things, but this shit is important, and we talking about it so much. I don't think people realize how much the world is changing right now in front of us. Like, social media has changed the world forever. Having a phone with unlimited options in your hand and thinking that don't affect your mind state in a relationship, no matter who you are, no matter if you're the most loyal person in the world, just knowing when you was a kid, you had access to the prettiest girl on your block and the girls in your neighborhood. You didn't have access to the world. So there's a lot of shit you was going to put up with to make this shit work.
Yep.
Now that's not the case. You have a phone in your hand. I got a bitch in every major city. Like, it's a girl right now in every major city I could pull up on today. You know what I'm saying?
And
so
you might can grab a couple of them out the country too.
Exactly. So it's like, your tolerance for somebody bullshit is gonna be a lot less. I don't care who you are. So we have to acknowledge that and figure out what does dating look like for our generation, because it's not gonna look like what it looked like for our parents. It's just not gonna happen. So I do think these conversations are important, but I think they should be more solution based. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Like, what are we coming up with that's gonna make it better?
Absolutely.
Instead of keep talking in circles about it.
For sure. All right, my question for you. I got so many. I don't know which ones I want to hit first.
I got a lot too now.
All right, so I want you to teach the guys something, right? Lend some advice to my young guys or even my older guys who just don't get it. I think personally that a lot of men have an issue with pursuing women that they know don't like them. Like, she's showing you all the signs that she's not interested and you chasing her anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But maybe they don't realize they're doing it. So my question for you is to give the guys some advice on how do you know when a woman is feeling you for sure?
I definitely think attention. The first thing is attention. Like, if she always busy, she never have time to talk to you or even like give you a piece of her time, she don't like you. That's just me being honest. Like, that's even my first thing with a guy. Like, even if you don't have time, the first thing a nigga gonna do is communicate. He's going to tell you that, especially if he cares about you, he want to see you. The initiative is everything. Like, it's not about you being busy. It's about you caring that I know that you busy. You explaining to me that you busy and what would be the next step. Like, you know, if she's not doing that, like, that's like the first red flag. The second red flag is like definitely like passion or like, you know, like affection. You know, when you with her, do she touch you? Is she more to herself? Like, if she don't want to kiss, a hug, touch your leg, that's kind of like, after you, especially if you're dating them a few times, like y'all actively dating or seeing one another, and you don't see that in her, automatically red flag. Yes. And I would say also just being, like I said, consistent. Like, consistency to me is everything. I don't have to see you every day. I don't have to see you once a week. But if we on a consistent talking basis, then you need to communicate with me. Let me know, are we doing this? I can't do this, you know, set a date. I mean, I say dates a month in advance. Like, if it's that deep. Like, I live out of town. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, I'm coming here, going there. Hell, we can go meet in Miami if you want to, for real. Like, it can get like that. Like, it's whatever, for real. It's all about, like, we adults. Yeah. We all got lives, and I feel like I'm a very considerate person. Consideration was a huge thing for me growing up. My mom always said that inconsiderate people was like the worst type of people to her. So everything I do is in consideration. Everything ain't about me, and I have my selfish ways, yeah, but I still consider what someone else has going on, because I feel like if I don't, then when it's my turn for him to care about something I got going on, it's not going to be there. Absolutely. So I definitely think that's important.
For sure. All right, it's on you.
Okay, let me see. I think I want to ask, What is your spiciest opinion that most of people might disagree with? Like, what's your opinion on something that a lot of people gonna disagree with?
You should have asked me. You should have asked me this in advance. I didn't think about this one. TJ, what you think? What you think of some wild shit I be saying that people don't fuck with?
I got a lot of stuff I be saying.
They hate when I talk about God. I don't know if I want to go there.
People don't like God.
Got a lot of knowledge in it though.
It's not that people don't like God. I don't believe in the Bible. I believe in God.
Okay, I heard you.
I
heard you say that before on the podcast.
People like it be people be wanting to put knives to necks when I start talking about that shit. Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I mean, you know what black people, like, if you say you ain't Christian, it's like you atheist off top. You know what I'm saying? I literally had somebody on the show that was like, I was like, yeah, I believe in God, I don't believe in the Bible. She's like, so you an atheist? I'm like, gee, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's my big thing. And my basic, my unpopular opinion with that is just like, you know, I feel very fortunate in my life. And like, I've been through crazy shit. And I did have an experience that made me kind of lose my faith in God for a second. But things happen. Like I feel like I had my own personal miracle happen before. I was homeless. I was living in my car. I was going to Olive Harvey to register for school. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if for people who've been homeless before, you know, it's like a day-to-day thing, like trying to figure out, like that's you kind of living by the skin of your teeth every day. Right. And especially in my case, I didn't want to tell nobody. I didn't want to ask for help. So it's like, I got to get through the day, figure out how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. And I kind of ran into a brick wall for the first time. And it kind of emotionally fucked me up because I feel like I got all this family, why am I in this situation? But that's shit that you could put to the side to just keep going every day. Right. But I ran into a situation where I'm going to Olive Harvey. I'm going to Olive Harvey, a junior college in Chicago, to register for school. And I'm pulling up. I got a Grand Prix GTP supercharged. That bitch eat gas like crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm like 17, 18, whatever. So I'm pulling up in the parking lot. And that bitch is like, I'm knowing like this bitch under E. Like when I turn this car off, it's not coming back on and there's no gas station near this bitch. So like I'm getting to the point where I'm like, fuck, like I gotta call somebody and tell them what the fuck going on. I got these clothes in my car. I'm sleep. Like somebody gonna pull up to help me and be like, why the fuck is all this shit in your car? Like what's going on? So I kind of like, it just was like, I was at wit's end. Like it was just like over with for me. And it all started to hit at the same time, like emotionally. So I'm walking through the parking lot. It's 100 cars in the parking lot. This one, Olive Harvey was like a popular junior college. And I just happened to walk between two cars. It was a $20 bill. I was broke too. That was the other thing. I had no money. It was a $20 bill laying in between these two cars. I could have walked in between any two other 100 cars in this parking lot. Right there. Not only was that bitch sitting there, it was sitting like facing me, like straight across, face up, facing. It was like it was presented to me. Right. Like, you feel me? Like it ain't blow away in the wind or none of that shit. And it was just like, damn, like. So it was like, I started believing in God again that day. You feel me? Because I had kind of lost it.
Well, that's dope.
So that was a moment. I don't really talk about that too much, but that was a moment. But so I feel very fortunate in my life, but I have a bad relationship with God right now because I work with kids. I taught in Inglewood. Mm-hmm. I lost 7 kids in 7 years while I was teaching the gun violence. The youngest was a kindergartner. You feel me? Wow. I lost 2 more since I stopped teaching. And one of them was the first kid I ever interacted with walking in a school building. He just got killed this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, it's that. And then you got human trafficking and genocide and fucking the Congo and all this shit that's happening. And it's just like, that be making me question shit. Like, bro, my life is good. Yeah. I don't got no beef with God over my life.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely with kids getting molested and
it just be shit like happening. It's like, bro, like, and you know, even now I do therapy with kids and just be like, bro, it be people that's like, it feel like they born to lose. Like somebody saved this person. Like this person need help. Yes, and I agree. We put the Kia boys on the news and all these little kids and be like, oh, lock their ass up, all this. But it's like, these kids is victims first before they got out here and got to acting crazy. Like when I talk to the kids that's really out, because most of these kids just being bad. But it's a lot of them, the ones that's out here really killing motherfuckers and doing crazy shit. When I go do therapy, when I talk to them, like, I found my daddy dead. I was there when my little brother died. I was there when my uncle got shot and came in the crib and bleeding out in front of everybody while we playing the game. Like they saw fucked up shit they weren't supposed to see. Yeah. And they went out and perpetuated that shit in the world. Mm-hmm. But it's like, but now they got to go do a life sentence or something. Like this motherfucker was like, the cards that people be dealt just don't be fair. Yeah, and that's where I'm at with my faith right now. And some of them, they
never get out of that.
Never.
Yeah, they're born into it. They die that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just not fair. And it's like, what was this person's purpose in the world? You know, and people got all these fucking karma and all the other goof ass shit. And I just be looking, my relationship with God is kind of strained based on what I see with kids mainly, but just even other parts of the world with genocide and shit like that. It just be like,
yeah, because it's like, where are the blessings then? Where's the prayer then? I never looked at it that way, but
my question to it, I always say this on the show, is like, it's either A, do you have the power to stop this and you choosing not to, or B, do you not have the power to stop this from happening? Do you run shit down here or not? That's what I be. That's my relationship
just overlooking
with God,
it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, are you taking a nap? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of shit going on.
How you taking a nap
so
or what?
That's my spicy opinion, man. I already want to go there today.
I ain't gonna lie, that's too funny, man.
But let me see. I got that one out the way already. Oh, do you feel like friends are obligated to support you?
No.
When it comes to business?
No.
Okay. Elaborate on that.
Nobody is obligated to support you. Your mom and daddy ain't obligated to support you. People support what they believe in. And your friend doesn't automatically make them a believer because you woke up today and started a brand. That don't mean they gotta post it. That don't mean they have to wear it. That don't mean they have to buy it. I do feel like support comes in different ways. I have friends that never have posted stuff that I sell, but they come to the pop-up shops, they help set up. They might have bought the balloons. They might have, they help in different ways because everybody's not on Instagram 24/7. Everybody is not like he just told me, I don't take pictures. You know what I mean? Like people like to think that in our generation, all of us are into that stuff. But that's not true. We are still individuals and everybody walks a different walk, talk a different talk. So I feel like stop forcing support on people. Now, if you feel like you doing something worthwhile and you're looking for them to support you and you're asking them and they're just outright not doing it, of course that will probably make the relationship, a little, shaken up. But I don't force my brand on people. I actually don't force anything I'm doing on people. I love genuine support. I want to see what you gonna do so I know what I can do because that's just the type of person I am. Now, if I feel like you never show up for me, then that might make me look at you differently. But like I said, I feel like support comes in all different, ways. I got friends that never come to pop-up shops, but they might say, the pop-up shop was love. I'm going to take you to dinner tomorrow. We're going to drink and celebrate you because they might not like crowds. They might not like the people that's in the pop-up shop. Some people can't put aside their own personal things for other people. And I get that. Yeah. So with me being in this, creative world, I used to be offended by certain things that people would do. I'm not a really over emotional person and vocal about my feelings. So I'm not the type of friend to text you and be like, damn, what's up, G? Why strong, you ain't I'm more like, okay, I see how you move and I know not to count on you for certain things. And also, I definitely later on down the line might speak to it if it bothers me that much. But me personally, my support comes from God and my community, my people, like the people that I'm over locked in with. I personally feel like people be too worried about what people not doing. What about the people that are showing up for you? A lot of time we overlook them. Yeah. You know what I mean? You overlooking the motherfuckers that's there every day, every step of the way. You so worried about Tasha over here. Tasha ain't never came to nothing. Why you still worried about Tasha not coming to something? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's how I be moving. Like, I'm appreciative for who do show up. Yeah. And
that literally happened to me at our first show in the barbershop. We had a show and it was free. Wasn't it free the first joint? And it was the barbershop. It was like 50 people showed up. It was packed in that bitch, but it was a lot of people who told me they was gonna come, closer people to me who didn't show up. Yeah. So like the day after, my homie would hit me like, what's wrong with you at the joint yesterday? I'm like, what you mean? He was like, after the show, everybody was trying to holler at you, seem like unapproachable, like you was blue. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even realize I was giving off that energy because I was so worried about the people who wasn't here that I didn't show the people love who was here. And I learned from that. It was like, from that moment, I'm like, nah, I got to worry about who here. And like you say, I want the genuine support, you know?
Yeah.
Because you will get confused off who your customer is if you worried about support
Yeah.
versus like people who actually like the product.
Exactly.
Like everybody gonna come to your grand opening. That's not your customer though. That's not your
Exactly.
everyday customer. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I think that people they definitely be so concerned about who not showing up. It's like worry about who is showing up. To me, that's what matter the most.
For sure.
Keep those relationships solid. Okay, when have you grown the most in your life and what caused that growth?
The most growth I had in life was the last 3 years I've been doing therapy. What caused that growth? I had a breakup in 2018, and I was like a bad person for real. You feel me? Like I was like cheating like crazy. And at first, my first thing was like, I ain't like the guilt of like constantly cheating and lying. Like it was just too much guilt. Like I could come to the crib, see my girl look a bad. She might have had a bad day, but whatever bad energy, I'm like, damn, she know. Like it was just so much guilt on my.
Yeah, on your chest. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, man, I can't do this shit no more. So when I first had the break, my first thing like, I ain't lying to nobody no more. That's number one. Like lying is fear based. I ain't scared of nobody. What the fuck? Like whatever the fucking consequences is or what it is, unless you a judge or the police, I ain't lying to your ass.
Right.
So but then I kind of just became an asshole. Like I'm dating, I'm telling the truth, but it's like, all right, bitch, deal with it. Like, all right, yeah, that bitch was here. Okay, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, all right, I'm still kind of like not a good person right now. So I eventually went to therapy. Found out I had a sex addiction. That was like a big part of like what the problem was, something I never would have identified. Because I thought that shit was normal, like for me to just want to fuck. But it was the way I was doing it was a little different than the average. Because every dude might be like, yeah, I love sex too, but it ain't really about that. Because other niggas, you know, when they cope with their emotions, they get high, they drink, woo woo. For me, it was always like I'm going through the phone like who I'm finna fuck because I'm stressed out. Like that shit just not cool. So it's that. End up having a kid in the midst of all that. You know what I'm saying? My 2-year-old, love my kid to death, but that was kind of like a consequence of me being unstable and just dealing with shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was what changed me a lot. Like, and over the last 3 years, just I found out a lot about myself, and I feel like I just became a lot better person. Learned self-control, learned sexual discipline, a lot of emotional discipline too. So
yeah, that's dope.
For sure.
Okay, what motivates you to get up in the morning? Are you driven by relationships, money, success? Like what drives you?
Relationships, I wouldn't say so. Money, not quite. I used to think I wanted to be rich. Like I think I really just want to be free.
Yeah.
I think money is a
tool.
It's a tool to get you free. Meaning that like no matter, I can make time for whatever I want. Like if my motherfucking grandma, God forbid, was on her deathbed and for 2 months, I could be there for 2 months straight.
Yeah.
Without
and worrying about
losing.
bills.
That's freedom. You know what I'm saying? But it take money to get that. You feel me? But because I asked somebody, would you work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, like for a year for $1 million, or would you not have to work at all and take 100,000 or something? And niggas be like, I'll take the million. Ooh, I was like, when you gonna spend it? Like, what vacation you finna go on? What you finna?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so
12 hours a day is crazy.
I can't say I'm money motivated. Well, to answer your question, what motivate me? I'll say like just discipline, just staying disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if I get up at 5 every day and my routine real because my job is very demanding and it's very freelance. Like I make my own schedule, but I gotta get the shit done, which is a little bit more difficult than if I had to go clock in and I gotta be here because it's like ain't no discipline in that.
Absolutely.
So I know if I don't get up and do what I gotta do, I still gotta do it, but now I gotta cram everything and now I gotta be pushed back and miss a bunch of deadlines. So the motivation is really just discipline of knowing like I'm gonna pay for this shit if I don't get up and do what the fuck I gotta do. I'm gonna pay for it later. So that's it. Let's see. What's something you never thought you wanted in a man until you experienced it?
I definitely used to think like guys that was like super emotional was like soft as hell. Like I always hated like the over emotional guys, but now I definitely feel like it's maturity in being able to show emotion and let someone in and be vulnerable. I'm definitely not an overly vulnerable person. So when I see that in guys, I definitely respect it versus looking down on it how I used to. I think it's important to be around people or deal with somebody that you can be vulnerable with. I think it's so much like respect in that, and that, you know, that's like a value. Like they value my opinion and they value our relationship. So they're opening up that door for me. And I can't see how in my past I shot down a lot of vulnerable moments with men, and especially as Black men in this society. I definitely think it's important for them to be able to come to you without that judgment or that, you know, the way a lot of women, you might look down on them for being open. Like we say we want honesty, but then when guys tell you, oh, you hurt my feelings or you made me feel this way, you soft as hell, you know, whatever, you get that backlash. So it took me to mature as a woman to see the value in that. So now I definitely value that. And I think that when I see a man like that about me, it makes me like him more.
For sure.
Because it's not something you see all the time.
We like it. I love
Yeah.
it. We appreciate you. For sure. Is your question?
Okay, let me see what I want to say next. Like you said, I got a lot. Okay, this is a good one. Do you feel like women beg too much?
Yeah. Not the women I deal with.
But in general.
I ain't dealing with that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like yeah. And they get creative with it, but not creative enough. Like the cash apps and the bios and all that. And some of it is just like I don't even really pay that much attention to, because I don't deal with it, so I don't have a big like bad reaction to it.
Yeah,
it don't
you
even
don't deal with
affect me
those type
for
of
real.
women. Yeah,
yeah. Well, I deal with women who they just don't come my way with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that like the way I date and the way I present myself is like I push personality and
not your wallet.
I don't I don't think no woman coming my way for some money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not rich. I don't try to make myself look like I got more than I got. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of niggas who got the same or less than me who look rich and present that, and they run into them type of chicks. It might be the same chick that they gonna come at me and you different because you pushing your wallet, she gonna test that motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really can't blame her. But, you know, with me, it's like I got my shit together, you know what I'm saying? I could probably do a lot of the shit that she asking the next nigga to do, but that's not what I'm pushing. That's not why she fucking with me. That's not what attracted a girl to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't deal with that type of shit. But yeah, they be begging though. I be seeing it. I be hearing about it. My homies be sending me the screenshots and dropping shit in the group chat.
I be seeing it.
Asking some crazy shit. It be like, gee, what the fuck made her ask you that? Like, I be looking like, what are you doing that made her think it was okay to ask you that shit? And
what are you saying? Right.
And it be the same niggas who be they going through this with every chick. It be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing that's making these chicks come at you this way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of times it be like the space that you meet somebody in. My homies always say, I met her in the club. What you doing in the club? I'm popping bottles. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So you met her in a space to where y'all ain't getting no real conversation in the club. It's loud as fucking there. What's attracting to her is how much money you spending right now.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the game in the club. Like the niggas that spending the most.
It's a dollar sign on your head. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you meeting majority of your dating pool in that environment, they're gonna be looking at you like that.
I agree.
I don't be in a club. I be at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and shit talking like, you know what I'm saying? Like
it just be a different vibe. Section.
Yeah, it just be a different vibe. Like, you know, so and I got plants now. I got fake plants and shit. It's different.
You say it's different over here.
Yeah, I ain't dealing with that type of shit, man. I ain't dealing with that. Let me see. If you and your man was down and out, and his ex offered to pay the rent, would you let her?
Hell yeah. Why not?
He'll be cool with it. Okay.
She gonna stay over here, or she gonna just pay our rent?
Nah, she just offering to, like, I got y'all. His ex pop up like he tell you like y'all down shit fucked up, and he paid the rent, like, where you get it from, and it come out like, yeah.
I mean, let me say this first. If he paid the rent and I didn't, like, if he asked me, of course I'm gonna be like, hell no.
Right.
But if he paid the rent and then he came to me and was like, oh, I asked Keisha for the money, I personally wouldn't give a fuck.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if I was in a relationship and we needed our rent paid I could personally get our rent paid. But if that incident occurred and neither one of us can show up for one another, we don't have no community that can help us out, and Keisha helped us out, I mean, to me, that says more about our unity than Keisha.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, she don't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
She just got the role. She just got the bag, and he asked her.
Right.
It's more so like, what we in here doing that we ain't got our rent money, and why you just not telling me we don't got it? Like, we could have came up with a plan 29 days ago, my nigga. So it's like, I wouldn't be mad. Like you said, those one of those things where I feel like it's not a big deal to me. Like, I've dated guys, hustlers, that have been like, yeah, I called so-and-so to get her, what's the name, so I can get some pounds. Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if she want to give you $3,500 to cop some work, who am I to judge? You know what I mean? Like, hopefully you get her money back. Like, I don't, you know, certain things I don't feel like is my reasoning to be like upset about.
Yeah.
I feel like that has a lot to do with your union. Like, if your nigga going outside y'all union to ask somebody else for some money, y'all got way bigger fish to fry.
That's deep. I think it got to do with a lot of security as well.
Yeah.
So you seem more secure than the average person to be like, all right, well, what did that come with? Because that never came up in the conversation as far as you saying like, oh, well, what the fuck him and Keisha got going on? That he asked her for the money, that she gave it to him. You never even said that. So
no, because I wouldn't think about that.
The average person would. The average person, that'd be the first thing.
Because they insecure and they more so worried about Keisha. I'm more so worried about why in my home we don't have our rent money.
Exactly.
And what could we do to prevent this so it never happens again?
Okay.
I'm more of a solution-based person.
Yeah.
I never care about bitches. Like, in my world, I'm the coldest bitch to ever walk the earth. I'm colder than Beyonce in my head.
For sure.
My confidence is fucking insane.
Right.
So I never really be worried about bitches.
Right.
Like, even cheating wise, what you was doing with her, why do you like how she suck your dick better? I'm not one of them type of women.
Right.
Like, it's not that deep for me. Like you said, it's more like, well, why are you cheating? Like, is you good?
Right.
Like, nigga, do you want to leave? Like, what's going on? Like, talk to me. You know, that's how I am. Like, I be more so worried about what we got going on versus the outsider. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that means more than anything.
I fuck with it.
Yeah.
It's on you.
Okay, let me see. This is funny, but why are men so sassy these days?
Let's see. What does sassy mean? Yeah. What does sassy
Sassy. No, sassy is like very tit for tat, very well, if women get to do this, then why I can't do this? You know, why we can't do that? What makes, you know,
like when women drop the list of the dates that they can't, the places they want to go on dates, and men drop the list of women they want to take on dates. That's
sassy.
Yeah, niggas acting like bitches for sure.
Yeah.
That's a thing, man. Why are men that way right now?
Why you think like
I'm
right now in this day and age?
Sure. I think it's getting exposed and shown more because of social media.
Okay.
But why men are that way, I don't know. Like, I really don't. And it's the thing, is like with this whole gender war shit, men hate my takes on it because they feel like I don't hold women accountable. Damn, now like I'm a feminist, like I'm on women's side. That's not the case, because I be on women's ass about certain shit too. But I look at men like we the leaders.
Yeah.
So even with that list, like, how can we say we lead in the community if women say, I'm gonna put out a petty ass list, and men say, oh, I'm gonna out petty you and put out an even pettier list?
Exactly.
Like, we not leading, we following. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is corny.
Exactly.
So why niggas are that way, I don't know. The only solution that I could think of is the lack of male leadership in homes, which partially is on men's fault for not being there for their kids, and it could be on woman's fault for not, you know, if she not trying to co-parent effectively. But even some men like don't know how to co-parent effectively because they feel like I'm only gonna be there for my kid if I'm fucking you. And then there's some women who like, they might be bitter because the nigga didn't get them a shot at a relationship and say like, hey, well, we gonna have this kid, but I ain't fucking with you.
Yeah.
So now it's that. So I think it's just a lack of, you could tell a man's relationship with masculine energy by how well he takes criticism. You know what I'm saying? So that's a dating tip for women. Like,
I like that.
And I'm gonna go into that more at the end of the show. I want to leave y'all with something, but masculine energy grows from criticism, feminine energy grows from praise. I'm gonna go into that later, but a man's relationship with criticism is a man's relationship with masculine energy. If a nigga can't take criticism, and
that's so true though.
And I think a woman could test a man in that way and see it early before the sassy shit come out a year later, and you really fucking with this nigga and he trying to go tit for tat with you and all the bullshit.
That's definitely happened to me before. Like it don't be coming out. You don't be knowing. I hate when people be like, well, the signs was there. It's like, I mean, kind of late shit. Like, had I saw it in the beginning, like, I probably would have left. But it's like, some stuff don't, it's like it happens literally when it happens, and then you find out. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not into shared accountability if you're a leader. You know what I'm saying? I could hold like not as a unit. Like I could hold an individual accountable, right? Mm-hmm. So like me and you in a relationship, I can say like, hey, for this relationship to work, I need you to stop doing this. I need you to get this under control. Right. That's me holding you accountable. But as a community, when we talk about black people as a community, men cannot look at women and say, this on y'all the problem. Because if we the leaders, they can't be the problem. That's like me being a coach of the team and saying, oh, the team suck because they weak as fuck. Well, I'm the fucking coach. Like, what did that say about me as a coach? Absolutely. I can say as an individual, like, you got to catch the ball. You fucking up. But I can't say the team suck. Yeah. That mean like, I suck. Where am I putting niggas at? Like, am I helping them? Yeah. So if we the leaders and women are doing bad, what the fuck do that say about us? Like, we got to be doing bad. It's a reflection. Exactly. So that's how I look at shit. Most men don't see it that way. We got a lot of Red Pill podcasts, which is a reaction to the City Girl shit. You ain't see the Red Pill podcast, the Kevin Samuels and shit come out until you saw women get a voice and start saying, fuck these niggas, da-da-da-da. But the City Girl shit is a reaction to money over bitches for 30 years straight and pouring champagne on girls' head for 30 years straight. Yep. That's where the City Girl came from. She got a mic and said, you know what, fuck y'all niggas too. Yeah. And now here we come with this. Yeah. And then Kevin Samuels pop up, well, all right, well, fuck y'all bitches too. And now here we go. Like, you know all you hoes ain't shit. It's fucked up. How about that? It's fucked up out here, man. That's a great question, though. I think I need to like elaborate ponder a little bit more on that. I got to figure that out. Let me see. What's the worst thing about being cheated on? What's the worst part about it? The worst part? Yeah. I think it just be like, lying. Like how you said, like, it just be like so much lying. Like niggas would be like, my auntie got cancer. We had to go to chemo. Like, nigga, you did not have to say all that about TT to go fuck this bitch. Like, it just be ridiculous, some of the stuff. Like, it just be like too much lying. Like, I don't like all that. I feel like if you gotta do all that, we just don't need to be together. It's like you ain't just tell me one lie like I was over here and I was over there. Right. You made a whole facade with other factors. You put all these people in it. Yeah. You got Terry in it, your cousin in it. You done drug your mama in it. Like, come on now. Like, it's just ridiculous.
We
like,
go to some great lengths. It's a lot of people. Yes. It's just one chick. This one. I feel like it's my coldest lie ever, G. And it was crazy. Like, and when I look back, I was like, that's part of the shit I needed therapy. I'm like, I'm a sick nigga for this shit. Like, I was a sick ass nigga, G. That's what I'm saying. Like it gets wild. I got so cold. G, I got so cold that line. Like, it's a skill to the shit. And like, all you gotta do for real, and I'm not saying this for nobody to go out and lie to nobody, but if you put a little bit of truth, like a known truth, like we both know that this is true, and I add that into my lie, it validates the whole lie. Yeah. And it's like, now you put this person on a whole, like, you could make a person very secure with your lie. And like, I guess that's what gaslighting is at its finest, but it's like, man, I was a sick motherfucker, G. So it's like, man, that's fucked up. You be like, okay, you cheated, then you find out the auntie really don't got cancer. You know, this ain't your real cousin. It's like, you find out all this stuff. You like, damn, like, this nigga is a grade A liar. Like, that's some sick shit. Yeah, like, you crazy, my nigga. Like, I'm scared of you at this point. I don't know what to believe. Like, I think that's what it is. Because the trust is completely broken after that. Yeah. It's like, if you say you at the grocery store, I'm just like, you ain't at no damn grocery store. It could be the most simple thing. Now I don't believe nothing you say. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that people forget that part.
Like, oh, she don't trust me. Like, yeah, nigga, you told 57 lies for one girl.
Then you act like, why she acting crazy? She
Yeah.
acting paranoid.
Yeah.
Because I remember this one girl I had to, she came to me one day, it was like, she like, where you been at? I'm like, I've been in the crib all day. She's like, no, you not. I'm like, how? She like, the light in your car is on. And I'm like, I just left it on. She like, nah, that motherfucker gonna go off after so many minutes. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, gee, I literally turned it on. I left it on. And I was like, gee, I'm driving this bitch crazy. I'm literally driving this girl crazy, G. Like she was a nut.
she losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it a few times. Like, it's crazy. Do you still believe in marriage? Do you want to get married?
Oh man. Everybody listening to this. Everybody listens to my podcast. No, I go back and forth on this shit every time I get asked, man. And the simplest way I can say it, like I do want to find that one person for me. So if you asked me 3 months ago, I'll be like, hell yeah, I want to get married. Like that's what I want to do. I want to find that one person. When I think about marriage as an institution, is like legal marriage, like it's making less and less sense for where we are as a society.
But I hate that people say that everything goes through the legal system. So what makes marriage like
because
so
you're taking
different?
something that's based on like if we make a business deal, it's based on numbers. Mm-hmm. Marriage is based on how we feel about each other right now. And
yeah, but it can also be a business.
Putting that on paper is crazy.
No, because I think that people look at marriage in all the negative aspects. Mm-hmm. If we had more positive aspects of marriage and we saw the more positive relationships that are built in the way that some people build themselves up in good marriages, then we wouldn't look at it that way. Me personally, I have had a blessing. I've been blessed enough to see great marriages in my life. My father is happily married. My uncles, my aunts, they're happily married. Sure. I have friends that are happily married. I have cousins that are my age, happily married, like houses, all of that. And I see my cousin, when he was a teacher, starting off and then them buying a house together. Now them about to have their second baby together and they're about to get another property and do this and put this into their home or whatever the case may be. If we had more of those relationships where you go on a round table and nobody's talking about getting cheated on, nobody's talking about divorce, and nobody's talking about, oh, he make more money than I make and I make more money than he makes, then you wouldn't look at it that way. Because your point of view would completely change because you like, damn, like if you do it the right way, this what you get?
I think it's hard to figure out what the right way is.
Because the right way is your way. It's nobody else's way.
For sure.
It's husband and wives that don't live in the same house. Yeah. And it's their way. But the woman around the corner might think that they have the worst marriage in the world, but they marriage might last way longer than your sister marriage that lasted, that you praise and think is the right way. Yeah. The right way is your way. It's not nobody else's way, the way you want your marriage to go, your relationship, anything. Because, you know, everybody looks at things in a different light. And I feel like that's where a lot of it comes from. Yeah. Oh, my friend think that if the woman make more money in the household, then the man is a bitch. You know, that's what your friend think. What do you think?
Yeah. So for me, it's a few things, right? I think that, you know, marriage, if I did do it, I would get a prenup, just looking at what you could lose, not even like what we coming in with. It's just shit like
what I established before you that I could lose.
Not even
in the divorce.
Like even if we married, like whatever we obtain while we're married with no prenup, you get half of us. So if my mama die and she leave a house in an inheritance and we get divorced, you get half of my mama house. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
like, you know what
I agree.
So it's certain shit that like, I ain't trying to be selfish, but at the same time, it's certain shit that's just like off limits if this shit don't work out.
I agree.
So with a prenup, I would get married. You know what I'm saying? Just because I know like if this shit don't like, and I'm the type of person who I also don't know if situations are supposed to last forever or they just supposed to be experiences. I change a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my early 30s, but maybe who I am now might be who I am at 50, 60 years old, maybe not. Am I going to find a person that's going to meet the needs of Terry today and also meet whatever the needs of Terry are at 50? Maybe not. I don't know. Those needs might be different. When I was younger, my needs were more like support and learning how to believe in myself and things like that. And I was in a relationship with a girl who taught me that. But now that I do believe in myself and I am chasing something, now I need patience. That wasn't in her wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't a relationship that was like gonna be that was gonna feed Terry today. So what does Terry look like 10 years from now? And it's the girl I'm picking today. I'm picking a girl right now based off my needs right now. I don't know what I'm gonna need when I'm 50.
Absolutely.
So I feel like based on that, it's very likely that a relationship with me might not last forever. You know what I'm saying?
But it could be yet. You might not have met that person yet.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm open to it, and I hope that it happened. But at the same time, when you talk about the perception of marriage, it is very different. I've seen my parents are married, my grandparents was married. You know what I'm saying, on both sides. Like I seen a lot of marriage. I think that if you ask a lot of women and that's seen the marriages that I've seen, they're gonna look at those marriages way different than I look at those marriages. Because as a woman, let's say you were like we grow up looking at the same marriage, right? Mom is telling you that everything is good. Mom is faithful to dad. Da, 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 da. Dad is telling you everything is good. Da, 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 because you're a girl. So both people in the marriage are telling you, the girl, that everything is fine. The man in the marriage is like, he in a barbershop, he taking you to the barbershop like, man, this marriage shit crazy. Ooh, I got a side bitch. Da, 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 da.
I agree.
So like a lot of times the perception, like when women talk about the marriage they seen in their family, ask the men. It asks the niggas your age that's looked at those same marriages, because both the people in those marriages, for whatever reason, we sell it to women a little different. And I don't know, a woman might be telling you like, oh, well, this is difficult, that's difficult, ooh, but I'm happy. A lot of times men be suffering in silence in marriages, and they talk about that shit at the barbershop or some shit. So it's like the marriage be looking successful and shit, but I'll put it like this.
You feel like it works in women's favor more than men.
I ain't even gonna say that, because I think men need shit. We need women for sure, and I think men devalue the shit that they get from women in marriage. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'll put it like this: any nigga I know that's over 45 that's single, is, especially if they don't got no kids, they like, gee, they tell me like, gee, don't miss your last dance. You get a woman, settle down. You gonna need somebody. Da-da-da.
Yeah, I agree.
Any man that's 45, the same age, that's married, is telling me like, bro, slow the fuck down on that marriage shit. You don't want to do this shit. So both people is like, don't do it. Like, pick the other side. Like, I swear to God, like, both of them are saying the same thing. So, well, they saying the opposite. So it's like, I guess the grass is greener where you water it. It's all perspective based. Yeah. So
I get the same type of thing.
It's like, a tough topic.
I definitely get the same thing. I get women telling me, it's time, you getting old, you need to have some kids, hurry up. And then I also have women that have their first baby at 38. That's like, you can wait, you can meet wait on that guy that you got your eye set on. Don't settle. Don't, give in too easily, because I didn't give in too easily and I got exactly what I wanted out the deal.
For sure.
So I definitely hear both opinions too.
How do y'all date intentionally? Like, for example, I've seen, like, you went on a date with a girl, right?
Right.
She was very attractive.
Right.
That's the last time you talked to her.
Which girl?
No, I'm just saying, most guys would be like, damn, she bad, and keep going on dates. But you was like, I ain't like the conversation.
I don't like her, right?
Yeah, like, I don't like her. But the average nigga would have been like, she bad as hell. Like, I'm going on the second, third, fourth date. How do you date, and how do you go about dating intentionally?
Well, who was the girl? I just want to know the situation. Who? Oh, yeah. That shit was over with. How do you date? So the question is, how do you date intentionally? I'm going to let you go first on that.
How do I date intentionally? You gotta check majority of my boxes for sure. Like,
okay,
I'm not he got money, fuck it, come on, I'm gone. Like, you got money, I get in the car, you funny looking, I'm gonna be like thinking about fucking you and how funny you look the whole ride. Like, I ain't gonna stop thinking about that shit. I'm gonna be like, I can't do it, G. Like, I'm texting my best friend, like, G, he too ugly, I can't do it. Just anything, like, it had to be, I ain't gonna say all the boxes gotta check, but majority of them. Like, I'm very intentional. So I feel like if it's not giving what I wanted to give, I can't keep going. Like, I'm like you. Like, I don't give a fuck what you got, how you look. You could be fine as hell and you could be a complete goofy, and I just can't do it. I can't be around you. I can't deal with you. So I feel like that's important. Like, I don't overlook certain things.
For me, the being intentional, you have to have like consideration for the other person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not gonna waste your time. Cause like he
That's
said, I
true.
went on a date. The girl was very attractive. Like she was bad, and like he said, most niggas would have just obviously she liked me. We on a date. She was feeling me, and I wasn't feeling her. So most niggas would have been like, I'm at least hit. You know what I'm saying?
But why wasn't you feeling her? Like, what was it?
The vibe, she just wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot. It was little things. It was just like.
Like what?
It was just the whole vibe, man. Like,
That's funny.
Just how she came off, her personality and things like that. It was like a lot for me. Like I'm very laid back and shit like that. And don't get me wrong, I could date a girl who funny and shit like that, but a lot of her, the way she moved was just not my speed. And there'd be other little shit though. Like I'm a slow driver, for example, right? Like I drive slow. I ain't in a rush to get nowhere. So if I get on the E-way and it's a bunch of traffic, I'm gonna turn on some R&B and chill and just get where I get.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I be in the car with a chick just like, man, you tweaking. You supposed to be flying this motherfucker. You could go this way and do that. They're like, bitch, it's Brian McKnight playing. If you don't chill the fuck out, like,
yeah, just chill out. Yeah,
like,
cool out. Yeah.
It be little stuff like, don't get me wrong, it's not a deal breaker for me, but that kind of, it's just stuff like that that's like an indicator of personality.
Yeah, it puts the icing
like,
on the cake if you are already feeling some type of way.
Yeah, but it's that too. But it's just stuff like that could be, those small microaggressions can be a precursor of our personalities just don't really align.
Yeah, I agree.
In the small ways, because it's the person you pick to be with is the person you can be bored with, not the person you can have. We could go out and have a ball together. Like in real life, we're gonna have a lot of days just being in the house together, just me and you. Do I really enjoy you?
Yeah, cannot be around you. Yeah. And when all the lights get off and, you know, if it's a storm and I'm stuck in here with you.
So if you don't like the way I drive, how we gonna be in a relationship?
Yeah.
You gonna blow the fuck out of me on this backseat
every time I'm driving,
you know what
right?
So, you know, it's just little stuff. But for me, I say being intentional because I stopped dating her because I cared about her. I cared about not wasting her time. Because the way that date went, it was like, I know I'm not as good as you look. I know as soon as we fuck, I'm gonna want to stop talking to you. You know what I'm saying? I know that because you just don't fit me. So
instead of you just being like on my hit list, like I know it's not gonna go any further than that. I'd rather just dead it right now.
Exactly. When I was younger, I'd be so enamored by how a girl looked that it's like I'm overlooking the red flags until I fuck, and then you get that post-nut clarity and be like, damn, I was chasing that, but I really don't even like her for real.
Very mature.
Now
very
I can
mature.
figure that out ahead of time. And I'm not finna waste your time. I could, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So,
I like that.
It's on you. Then I'm gonna get the last question that we're gonna get up out of here.
Okay, what is a high profile man?
Woo! High profile man. I guess you gotta ask. It's depending on the woman that's choosing and what she's looking for, right?
To you, what's a high profile man to you?
I think the biggest thing a nigga could do to be high profile above money, above everything else, is having sexual discipline. Because when you look at the pool of men, most men are thirsty for sex. Most men need sex and things like that. So if you want to set yourself apart, that's the number one thing. It's a lot of niggas out here with money. It's a lot of niggas that's in shape. It's a lot of niggas that's 6 feet tall. It's a lot of niggas that, you know, whatever.
Right.
Any box you want to check, it's a lot of niggas with it. It ain't a whole lot of niggas that can
keep
turn down pussy.
in they pants.
It's not. So that'll make you a valuable dude. And it's not that, not a nigga who can't get no pussy because you're not disciplined if you can't get it. But a nigga who can and you choose
to turn it down.
To turn it down, or you not, or even when you meet a chick, not even about you being sexually disciplined as far as staying loyal and not fucking other women. The woman that you meet that you like, not being thirsty to fuck her. Like that's gonna make you stand out
a hornball
to her. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing. And it'll also save you from having multiple baby mamas. It'll also save you from being in a bunch of embarrassing your girl, doing
and
a whole
making
bunch of
all
stupid
these
shit.
broken homes.
Yeah, it's so that's gonna keep you, because it's it's a bunch of niggas out here with a ton of bread, NBA players, all that, who got 12 kids, shit like that. Yeah, he could fuck your bitch, but the girl that he really want a wife is gonna, I'm telling you, like, it's levels to everything. So even them niggas who that you feel like at the top, who they tweaking and got 10 kids by 10 different women, I guarantee it's a woman out here who like, boy, get your goof ass on. I'm not dealing with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
it is.
And that's who they want.
And that's the one they want. You get what I'm saying? So sexual discipline will set you apart. But other than that, just being masculine. I think that obviously we in a world where, you know, men are losing their leverage in relationships. I talk about this all the time as far as like our leverage used to be we had the money and we had the protection. The world not as dangerous as it used to be. So single women in their house scared and they gonna bust through the door at any second. They drinking wine, chilling. You know what I'm saying?
They probably got a pipe.
Yeah, and women got money now. So that's not the leverage no more. So now, but as much as women might not functionally need a man to get through their everyday life, feminine energy is always gonna need masculine energy. That's universal shit. So at the end of the day, you know, being masculine, knowing how to fix shit. Cause it's when y'all both could pay for the shit, then y'all the same. At the end of the day, she gonna feel like, I don't need this nigga. He paying for the plumber. I could pay for the plumber. But if you know how to do the shit yourself, you make yourself more useful. Like,
or if you know who to call, you know, you might not know how to do it, but you might know who can
I'm
get
saying
it done.
Learn how to do it. That's what I'm saying.
I think you should
learn
too.
how to do it. Now, I ain't saying you gotta know how to
it.
drop a fucking engine. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying those everyday things, the fucking tub stopped up, the kitchen sink broke, your girl can't wash her hair, you gotta wait 2 days for a plumber to come.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like no, figure that shit out.
We gotta call every time something go on wrong in the house, we gotta call somebody.
So just get back on man shit. You know, work out, get in combat sports. Like a lot of niggas lift weights and all that shit. I need to get in the gym, get a little bigger myself. But even get into combat sports, we used to be a proper
country, you know.
Like, don't be out here swole as hell. A nigga my size knock you the fuck out. Like you don't want that either. And that bring a different level of confidence too when you are doing some type of combat sport and you kind of know that you will, you know, head and shoulders above the average person when it comes to that. If it ever go down like that, so I say that. This is my last question. This is what we're gonna close out on. Give me one piece of advice to end the gender war between men and women. Not me, but the people. Give the people one piece of advice that you feel like can help end the gender war between men and women.
One piece of advice.
Yeah.
Stop looking at celebrities and what they do. Celebrities, influencers, you know, Offset, band Cardi B, you know, whatever, all the roses, whatever. I just feel like it's distorting people's mindset of what they supposed to get in relationships and what they supposed to have by looking at people who finances and their accessibility is up here. And you think that an average person supposed to be able to access the same things that these people that these people are accessing, that have all other things going on, and people at their beck and call. Money is not, you know, a problem for them. And a lot of the things they not even doing themselves. They paying to get it done, you know, and they have the access to it. I think that is really warping people's brain because I know and I have friends that show up for women, and it's stuff that I be like, damn, like that was really nice and thoughtful, and he didn't spend $5,000 to do it. It's all the thought and the process in order to get it done. Like even Sweetest Day, one of my homies just showed out for her nigga, like over the top showed out. Like it was like I could have shedded a tear for her because I'm like this is what you call a real good, solid relationship. The fact that you went out and did all of this, like cards with everything that he liked, the meaning behind it, all his favorite things in different boxes, a note in every one of the things, like pictures of them, the whole shebang, lingerie with his name on it, you know, like very thoughtful. And it's like that type of stuff is because they have a solid union. And she not looking at, you know, he wants some Amiris. No, she thinking about what her man like and what means more to him than what she's seeing on the internet. He just want some jogging suits from H&M and some white ones, but I'm going to make the best out of these jogging suits, these boxes, these white ones. I'm going to put a little bit more thought behind it. Therefore, he know that I really care and I appreciate everything he doing for me, because a lot of times men don't get that. Y'all don't get shown love. A lot of times it's just all about what y'all don't do. So I feel like a lot of people got to let that go. Like they got to let go what they see on the internet. I know it look good. It's glamorized. You know, we all love it. I love to see the Birkins and the Chanels and all that. But if you're not dealing with, you know, guys that have that type of money and that type of status, why are you thinking that he's supposed to do that for you if he don't have the access to that?
For sure. I'm gonna say my last thing to close out. I know you gotta go, so if you want to just set the camera on me and take off, you can. So I say this, man. This is my advice to end the gender war. And on the last episode, I had made a comment that masculine energy grows from criticism, feminine energy grows from praise, right? So I want to break that down a little bit more.
You the first person I ever heard say that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I learned that from somewhere.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Dita.
Yeah.
But masculine energy grows from criticism, feminine energy grows from praise. What I mean by that is not that women grow from praise and men grow from criticism, but whatever individual, if you praise them, you're going to grow their feminine energy in that person. If you criticize them, you're going to grow masculine energy in that person, because we all possess both energies. It's just one outweighs the other. So the thing is this, for an example, you might have a man is in a relationship with a woman and she's gaining weight. He wants her to start working out. If he criticizes her and say, hey, babe, you getting big. Like, I don't really like that shit. You know, you got to get that together.
Right.
You got to get in the gym and work on that. You might get the results she wants. She might go to the gym and start working on it, but that criticism is going to grow masculine energy in her. It's no different than when it's guys, when we young and we on a football team, basketball team, the coach saying, hey, get your ass in the gym. What the fuck is it? Get your fat ass in the gym. You drop the ball, go run a fucking lap, da-da-da.
Right.
It's going to make us tougher. It's going to make us grow thicker skin.
Yeah.
It's going to do the same thing to that woman, because you're criticizing her into doing something. It's going to grow masculine energy in her.
Yeah, you building her up.
Exactly. Versus you telling her like, hey, babe, you know that workout outfit you got, I like when you wear that shit. That shit look good on you. You know what I'm saying? You be working out, sweating. Like, I like that. I want to see more of that. And you know what? Matter of fact, like, I know you got your workout goals and I'm pretty sure you're going to hit them next week. So at the end of the week, I'm going to take you out and celebrate. You know what I'm saying? You hitting your workout goals after that. That's praise.
Yes.
That's going to allow her to get that same result of working out, but it's going to allow her to stay soft and feminine. Right? But at the same time, another example, you could have a young guy, and let's say you praising a young guy, right? Let's say you got a son and he not doing his chores. You want to get him to do his chores. If you come at him and say like, hey, you know, I really like when you clean up after yourself, you know, like, I really think, you know, that it's really nice when you do that. I love to see that. I'm a proud parent. You clean up after yourself. And if you clean up after yourself all this week, I'll take you out and buy you something at the end of the week for cleaning up after yourself.
Right.
He gonna be soft as shit. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be soft as shit. He gonna expect something every time he do the bare minimum. He gonna expect the reward for it.
Yeah.
He gonna be soft as fuck. But if you tell him like, hey, bro, put that controller down, get your ass in there and clean up, do what you're supposed to do, handle your business. Like, you a man, get up, do your push-ups, da-da-da-da.
Right.
He's going to be more masculine. You know what I'm saying?
Or drop and give me 50 because you didn't clean up.
Exactly. So
yeah.
in that way, praise is going to make him soft. You know, criticism is going to toughen him up. And that's with any individual, no matter if they're a woman or a man. And I say all that to say that, like, when we on the internet and we telling women, y'all the most educated and least married, y'all too loud, y'all too disrespectful, we want to go date white women, we want to go date Latino women, we're constantly criticizing them, but telling them they're not feminine enough, we're making them more masculine. Yeah, because we're criticizing
it's building
them.
that wall up even more. And
Exactly.
I don't think people understand that. Like, we already getting so much like flack, you know, so it's like, it's a protection thing. It's like, you already feel like I'm a nigga, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm protecting myself.
Absolutely.
Definitely from me moving to Houston from Chicago, I get that a lot. Like, guys tell me I'm masculine all the time. Yeah. And I definitely get offended by it, because it's like, I'm not even really saying nothing. You don't even know me like that to be calling me, you know, masculine. Like, what have you done to make me show you my feminine energy, except for, like you said, criticize me the first time you open your mouth and talk to me.
Exactly. And I think that we got to understand, like, who we talking to and the result that we want to get. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's at the same time, it's just like a lot of men, we want to date women, but we don't want to understand women. Yeah. At the end of the day. And, you know, women need to be, and it might sound bad, but for a woman to stay soft in her feminine energy, you need to coddle her into the result that you want. You know what I'm saying? But that's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. Because it's like, if you do it to a boy, you coddle him to the result, he's going to be feminine. You know what I'm saying? So you want feminine energy.
And that's why we see a lot of it.
Coddling is what creates that. Yeah. And that's fine for a woman. But for a guy, it needs to be more criticism and things like that if you want this person to be masculine. But we take that energy because that's what we're taught. That's what we use to the criticism and what it do for us. And we try to apply that to a woman. And
the approach got to be different.
Yeah, the approach got to be different. If we want, you know, them to be more feminine, it's like, it's a very kind of productive thing that we doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. It's like how they say, you can't fight fire with fire.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
you can't. You gotta use something else.
Exactly. So that's my tidbit, man. But we gonna get out of here, man. Another episode of 21 Questions. I appreciate you for coming
Don't lose
through.
this footage.
I'm not. And that's it, man. We out.
All right, thank you.